is about hearing and listening. And there is a difference between the two. To hear something means you just hear the sound that something makes, but you don't make it out. To listen means you hear the voice, you hear the sound, and you make an effort to understand it, to interpret it. And I say that because there's this parable that I heard that says one time a man asked God, God asked a man to push a rock. So the man tried. Puts his hand up against this big rock, tried to push it. Nothing happened. Man kept trying. So he puts his shoulder into the rock, and all his might tried to push it. Nothing happened. So finally he puts his back into this rock, and he really pushes. And after some time he gets tired. And he stops. And he feels defeated. And it's just at that time that the Lord appears. So the man sees God and says, Lord, I tried to move this rock. I pushed with my hands. I pushed with my shoulder. I pushed with my back. Lord, I just could not move this rock. And it's at this time that God tells him, I just asked you to push. I didn't ask you to move it. Okay? See, there's a difference between hearing and listening. See, the man heard what God said, but he didn't listen to what God said. And I say that because God speaks to us all the time. The Bible says he speaks through dreams and visions. He speaks through angels. He speaks to us in that little voice that we hear. Some might say it's a conscience. Some might say it's a gut feeling. It's God speaking to you. And there's a lot of examples of what happens when we just hear God, but we don't listen to him. See, Adam and Eve heard God, but they listened to Satan. Okay? Moses heard God when he said, don't strike the rock, speak to it. But what did he do? He hid it. See, he heard him, but he didn't listen. Jonah heard the Lord say, hey, go to Nineveh, preach, get these people to change their lives. He heard him, but what did he do? He went the other direction. Okay, so he didn't listen, because if he would have listened, he would have understood the purpose behind what he was doing. We have to listen to God. We have to listen to what he's saying. We have to listen to what he wants us to do. We have to listen to what direction he wants us to go in. Like Samuel, who listened to God. Now, the first 3 times God called Samuel, he heard him because he didn't know that was God talking to him. But it was only when the priest told Samuel, look, that's God talking to you, and the next time that he calls you, say, Lord, here I am. It was only that 4th time that when God called him, did Samuel listen, because he knew who he was listening to. So that's one point, that we should know who we're listening to. And so we should be able to discern spirits and things. Know who you're listening to. We have to listen like Jonah the 2nd time. First time he heard. 2nd time he listened. But why did Jonah listen the 2nd time? The 2nd time, Jonah had to spend 3 days in the belly of the whale. And when he got out of that, then he listened. Then he went to Nineveh. Then he preached. So another point is that we shouldn't wait till we go through something. We shouldn't wait till we spend time in trials or tribulations, and pain and suffering, or things of that nature before we want to listen to God. Because see, if Jonah would have listened, he wouldn't have went in the whale in the first place. See, a lot of times if we just listen instead of just hearing, we might not go through the things we go through. We might not feel the way we feel. We might not lose the things that we lose. Because if we would have listened, we would have found a way out. If we would have listened, we would have found a way around. If we would have listened, we would have had opportunity to get out of this situation. So I just want to encourage you this day in this short message to listen to God, to what he's saying. Don't just hear his voice. Don't just see his miracles. Don't just feel his healing, but listen. Because he's telling us something wonderful. If we listen, we'll hear the blessings he has for us. If we listen, we'll hear the opportunities he's going to present us. If we listen, we'll know the direction that we're supposed to go in and when we're supposed to go. If we listen, we'll hear him say, be strong and of good courage. If we listen, we'll know that God is pleased with us, and he will say, well done, my good and faithful servant. See, these are the things we'll miss out on if we don't listen to God and we just hear him. God is speaking to us. God is trying to communicate to us. God is trying to guide us and strengthen us and encourage us this day. But if we just hear him, then we're going to miss out on all these blessings. If we just hear him, that joy that comes in the morning, we're going to miss. If we hear him, we're going to grow faint. We're going to grow weary. We're going to grow tired. We're going to grow disappointed. And we're going to lose hope because we fail to listen to the word of God. And we're trying to hear him. So just encourage you today to open your ears. In some places, close your mouth. And just listen to what the Lord is telling you. So may God bless us all. And may God bless the Church of the Living God, the pillar and ground of the truth. Amen.